wonder the game gets dark because the sun went down. Ah! The nice part is, because I left that one corpse all the way over there, I know where my base is always. It's due north without due north. I think I took the wrong road. We're going to see where this leads. Nope, actually I think this is the right way. Or one of the right ways. One way or another, like I said, I've got due north. Okay, good. I'm at the very least going to punch these. Seriously? Just a bearing? Alright, whatever. I'll grab it. Oh yeah, let's go back. That seems about right. So, flying machine if I want to find the shop, and honestly a flying machine in general seems like it would be a good idea. Let's see. Why is the car sliding all over the road? Friction in this game is kind of weird. Like, they don't quite have realistic driving. Even if you do, like, build a car with all the proper suspensions and stuff. But yes, scrap mechanics just a little weird about physics interactions. Combo that with the fact that I'm using a glitch to steer instead, which makes it a lot easier to steer smaller vehicles, but also is kind of pointless on big ones. So that makes it a little worse too. Let's get the trailer up. We're gonna need metal. We're gonna need wood and metal. So I'm gonna start by just getting another tree down. A couple of trees down? I don't know. I mean, nice part is I don't have to defend a damn thing because, you know, all my animals are dead. Let's see. Let's just eat a sandwich. At some point I'll do some farming too. Have a nice supply. Okay. So, oh, interesting. Looks like quitting onto the game is what clears the glow sticks as opposed to time. You're done. So what I think I will do, I'm going to use this one for now, but I think I'm going to have to replace it with another. I should probably also go get fuel. Why is there no means of automatically gathering fuel? It would be so nice. Metal. How are we doing on metal? Nah, I don't really want to use the scrap since I can get metal regularly. I got 62 blocks. I think that should be enough. I'm going to get another container to put on the back of my trailer. That way I can actually hopscotch between one and the others. Okay. Give it to me. I'm gonna give it the bonk and the booty. It won't hit me this time. I am not strong enough. Let's see, wonder why do you build all your vehicles out of wood? Availability? Availability, but mostly, honestly, it's the fact that wood is slightly lighter. So I don't have to worry about my car getting... I'm not going to say wrecked, but like, the heavier your car is, the harder it is to like control it. Obviously. Well, this is the issue. That would have killed me if I were, you know, worried about these things. Move my lift. There we go. I think I'm going to need a second vehicle. One big, one small. Small one for actually getting around and doing things, one big for actually doing chores. That hopefully would be big enough. Hopefully would be big enough that I could actually just move it around with these containers just attached. I mean, hell, if I could even have the full-on muncher attached to it, that'd make an insane difference in terms of productivity, because then I could just handle all of my requisite tasks without going at without actually having to return back to base. I'm sure it would take a lot of resources to get going, though. If you want to fit all your gear onto a vehicle, you need to be very clever with placements, or start using heavy materials to balance the mass, so you don't flip wildly. What I was thinking is I would need a very large vehicle with a lot of wheels and a lot more power than I currently have access to. So yes, it would have to be quite the heavy rig to do what I need. If I can actually chop down a small tree like this. Nope. They're effectively non-existent. Yeah, realistically, all I would need is just a space for the container and then a space for the Munch Beast. I don't think I would fit Craftbot on, just because that would be kind of silly. But I would definitely not be able to rely on turning glitches to actually get such a big creature to move. Maybe? Yeah, because I had to use thrusters to get whatever Uber Slugula's name ended up being. But I had to use thrusters to get him to turn. Really wish this thing had a much larger range. If I could, like, if I could upgrade this, I'd be a very happy camper. There we go. But yeah, upgrade that so it just had a massive range. Because that's the one other big fear of making, like, a particularly large vehicle is, even if I wanted to, getting all of the resource boxes to actually pick up the requisite resources might not actually work. I don't really know. Let's see, depending on the cost for thrusters, one possibility is make a flying base. They can never be attacked. Big ol' helicarrier. The real question is how much do batteries cost? Because if I could grow crops to buy batteries, that would solve a lot of problems. This works. But yeah, I would love a helicarrier. I think a lot of it truly also does depend on what kind of mods the modders are able to cook up. Because I wouldn't mind paying out the nose for an engine that never runs out of fuel. Same thing with the thruster that never runs out of fuel. Because then I could actually work up to that. Anyway, we're gonna chop down at least a couple more trees. I just want to have an insane amount, so I don't have to chop down trees for a while. The problem is you can't farm on non-terrain. But I could potentially have a fully automated farm that does not get attacked easily, with just like heavy pistons. And biofuel would kind of be a neat alternative as well. I don't know. There's a number of different things that they could do. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like they have a whole lot of alternative power or fuel sources available yet. But it'd be great if I could actually if I could power my whole everything. And I should probably go get some fuel. There we go. But it'd be nice if I could power my whole, like, ship, flying ship, vehicle, or whatever, with, like, a bunch of carrots that are automatically growing in the back and harvested repeatedly or something like that. Yeah, they're going to do a lot more updates when Survival's out. Hopefully. Unfortunately, Axolot Games is a little slow on the whole update business, so it might take a while. Honestly, like, I'm expecting modders to fill the gaps. And that's okay. Because the modders have some pretty cool things that they've made over the years, months, days, whatever. Okay, is that enough? That's probably enough. Yeah, I can only fit 3 more logs up in there. Have they hired Durf yet? No. I'm sure it would not make sense for them to do so, for whatever reason. And having worked with the guy, it does seem like he probably works better on a, like, on an individual basis, if that makes sense. I don't know. I'm one of those people that does okay when working with other people, but I thrive when I'm on my own and self-motivated. Moving with that trailer looks painful. Why not merge it in a single machine? Makes turning awful. It's actually so much worse. Jim seems like he's discouraged about mods from what he said on stream today. I'm sure it's probably harder to crack now. So I wonder if you made a boat yet. Haven't really bothered. Yeah, Durf's best left alone with a goal and come back when it's done. Yeah, micromanaging Durf was hard. Mainly just because, like, he has an idea, he wants to work for it, and trying to get him to do otherwise doesn't make him happy, and it doesn't make anybody else happy. So yeah, best to leave him to his own devices and just let him work his magic. I think that's true of a lot of people. Let's see, I could replace Jim, but I don't want to replace Jim until I know I can make it safe. And I know a lot of people like that. I mean, technically I'm one of those people. I work fine as an employee, but it's a lot easier for somebody, it's a lot easier for someone to just tell me like, hey, do a thing, and I'd be like, yup. Because then I could just kind of fly at my own pace, get everything done, and then just kind of kick back. And then I don't have to worry about, like, progress reports or, you know, making sure everything's up to snuff. I like my job. I'm not super keen on going back to working for anybody else anytime soon. Sometimes I think about, like, I wonder if I could get a job as, like, a community manager for a company. I think I could work. PR seems like it would be a useful industry for me to get into. Just because I'd be decent at it. See, why not place the gym pen up high? I probably should, but I think it's still going to be something that I work towards later. Because I don't really need more glow sticks. I don't really use them. And I don't use explosives. And I think that's the two things the gym is actually useful for. President Wagner Band. That would be... Oof. I have zero interest in ever running for office. I think about it every once in a while, and it's like, I wonder how hard it would be to get, like, a low-level bureaucrat job. But then I realized, like, I'd have to be in charge of people, which I don't already want to do. Let's see. Not to mention, like, I can't even imagine running for office and having, like, a billion videos up for people to just, like, ogle and be like, huh, this person said this at this point. Let's remix all the things he said so he sounds like an absolute turd. We're getting to that point, especially, like, in global politics, where I bet we're going to start getting weird deepfake supercuts of various candidates doing and saying things that they never would. And that's terrifying, the idea of just, like, potentially being able to put out a bunch of information, false or not, and be like, this is truth, and a bunch of people being like, I saw it on the news, this is truth, and it's like, no, it's not, you fools. Politics is already just people shitting on each other. Yeah, but it's usually just people kind of shitting on each other. I'm not going to say baselessly, but it's very he said, she said to some degree. The idea of having shitting on each other with proof is terrifying. Like, I know it already happens that people do supercuts of bad things, but, like, being able to just say, like, hey, remember when this person said, you know, let's kill all millennials. It's like, never said that. But, you know, you repeat that often enough, and, you know, enough dumb people are just going to listen to that and be like, huh, I guess he did say that. Well, not voting for him. Another streamer's chat made him sing Rickroll based on small cuts. That's amazing. Like, absolutely enjoyable, but terrifying to think of, like, the psyops potential for, like, half of these things. Yeah, and I did just say, let's kill all millennials, so, you know, if I did run for office, somebody would find this video and be like, holy shit, like, I realized what he's actually saying is not at all this, but now we've got that clip, so we can just repeat that forever, and make him look like a real monster, and I'm like, ah, gosh, darn it. The idea that you believe in, or what you believe and say doesn't matter as much as what people can sound like you believe and said. Yup. Because after a certain point, nothing matters. And then that gets equally spooky. Every once in a while I run across people that are just like, there is no point to anything. Why bother? And I'm like, there's all sorts of points to everything. It's worth it. Okay, so I guess let's get another bearing. Let's put the drill back on this sucker. It's time that we go get some rocks. Right, I keep forgetting to do the Discord notification. But somebody handled that for me. Thank you, Ouija. It's just easy for me to forget. But yeah, I find, like, super aggressive nihilism to be... I mean, obviously, it's near on impossible to argue with. Like, if nothing matters, why even talk with this person? So, yeah, usually when I run into somebody that's just like, I don't need to care what you say because nothing matters anyway, and I'm just like, alright, you are... I don't know. Pointless? Alright, well, let's leave that there for a little while. How much fuel are we looking at? We're looking at more than enough fuel. So let's go get some more rock and some other things. Let's see. Where's the good rock? Did I break all the fences, but I never actually broke this? I think that's actually the case. The jankiest, most broken watering system ever. I don't have a better system right now, though. The resource scarcity in this game really drives, like, a lot of weird innovation. Not necessarily good innovation, either. Alright. Can we go forward? Okay, there we go. Just did not want to go. But yeah, a sort inventory feature would be lovely. Especially if it was one where I could actually have like a giant universal like networked inventory structure that would sort everything using the vacuum tubes. That would be... There were some Scrap Mechanic mods that did that, and it was Scrap Mechanic Minecraft mods that do that, and it was lovely. Or just having the ability to refill from nearby and deposit kind of things. I want to say Terraria has that, where you can just press a button and dump off all the spare junk from your inventory. And it's just such a nice system. Uh-oh. Well, you know what? Screw this direction, let's go the other way. Okay, but yeah, that area sucks, and the terrain is bad, so let's go this way instead. That bird's favorite food is chicken. Think about that for a moment. I guess kind of in that vein, I was reading about seagulls. You know, since people aren't out and about anymore for seagulls to just, like, you know, filch food from and scraps and whatnot, seagulls have had to start eating pigeons. Which is kind of sad. Pigeons are cute. Kind of gross at times, but, you know, cute enough. And yeah, so seagulls have very specifically been consuming. There we go. Let's break this up. Worst comes to worst, I also just bust it up by hand. I don't think most animals care nearly as much about, I'm not going to say cannibalism. Kind of cannibalism. As much as humans do. For humans, it's kind of unthinkable. For animals, well, it's also humans. It's not healthy for us. This will be kind of fun with the mods, though. I'm not sure exactly how things are going to get modded over, and I'm pretty sure it's going to work poorly. At least for a while. But I'd love to see, like, ultralight builds or, like, some of the really big tires. It would be amazing. Oh, shoot. Aha! So I can't pick those up. Alright, let's start grabbing all of these. It's also not cannibalism because they're different species. Sort of, but like, I absolutely have seen different animals eat more of their own species as well. Whoops. And not give a dang. Because unfortunately, I had some really messed up friends in high school that thought it was really funny to share like videos of rodents eating each other. I think hamsters are a good example. Bad example? I don't know. Hamsters are kind of screwed up little creatures. Oh, walk. Please do not walk into my drill. I know I am adorable. But so are you, and I don't want you to get drilled in the face. Because that'd be horrific. Well, alright. I'm sorry. What? It deserved it. Walk had a death wish. And it got crushinated for it. Let's see, did I forget to attach my collector or did it fall off? I took it off. There's no real reason to attach it yet. Because unfortunately the collector mostly is on the back trailer just so I can get it nearby. It's actually really hard to get it to collect all the things I'm grabbing. If it was mounted directly behind the drills, it wouldn't be so bad. But I'm gonna need Madcap tank controls to actually make that work. Let's see, why would you want a mobile base? You can't put a farm on it. The mobile base would be less of a mobile base. Mainly, I want to move my base. And so I might as well build a mobile base. Well, maybe? I don't know. I think my first immediate goal is to make a flying vehicle. So that I can potentially go find the store. I don't necessarily need the spud gun, but knowing what the store has to offer is the first step in kind of making more progress. But yeah, for a mobile base, I'd really just need enough torque and power to move my 2 resource collectors and both the Muncher and the Craft Bot. And I guess Chef Bot. Plus storage. I kind of wish there was a compact mode for all of them so I could actually move them easier. Make a boat. I'm not sure if boats are particularly viable, nor do I really want to, currently. Main issue with boats is there's no easy way to move them. If they had added proper like propellers or boat locomotion, I'd be super down for it. But as it stands, boats require thrusters to move, and those are expensive. Like I haven't built a thruster yet because of how pricey they are. But also, let me play at my own pace. I'll make a boat at some point when I have all the spare resources. I'm just trying to do everything in my power to do everything that would, gosh, how would I even describe it? Progression in this game is actually surprisingly difficult. There's no easy way to get, like, more amounts of iron faster-ish. I guess strapping some more, drills to this could actually work at speeding things up, but I don't have enough iron. It's a bit of a, I'm not going to say a negative spiral, but it's slow to get anything done. And so I want to screw around more, build boats, build flying machines, build like a giant thing that'll just munch rocks. But I frankly don't have the supplies for it. I think I will prioritize getting another drill, though. Considering I need it, how much iron I need to get. I'm doing on fuel. And the other thing is, the more ridiculous builds require more ridiculous amounts of supplies. And that in and of itself is going to cause mild amounts of problems. Because, yeah, I just refueled this thing, and it was at 4 bars, and it's back down to 2. I'm sure a lot of that has to do with the fact that, yeah, I am just driving around like this. With these. It's like Star Sector, where you want to pull out the fun battleships, so they're so expensive to fly around and spin in the butt. Yeah, Star Sector, Empyrean, let's see, Star Sector, Empyrean, what's some other, I mean, Space Engineers, gosh. fueling things in Space Engineers was a pain. I eventually just, let's pull this back. There we go. Okay, let's just get out of here. This ain't working. Okay, turn that off. Switch these out. Come back. Grab some more. Is there a skybox? Do you mean like, are there limitations? I'm pretty sure there are. That bug is actually really annoying. Half the time when I hop out of the car, I just start automatically running forward, and it's like, oh, please don't do that. I have other things to do. How's everybody's time in quarantine? Mine's good. I'm definitely getting the itch that I want to go outside, but I also know that that would be super stupid, so I'm not going to. Even though I live in, like, one of the states with the least outbreaks, I don't want to contribute to it, nor do I want to get sick. First part is, my dad's actually a chemist working on, like, potential cures and whatnot. And it's always fun listening to him, because he's working on the cool stuff that's like, yeah, this might be useful. And then I have to be like, okay, so did it work out? And he's like, nope. Easy to get your hope up when you have somebody talking about all the awesome things that could happen. But yeah, unfortunately, I live in a particularly populated neighborhood. So going outside during the daytime is really difficult, and my populated neighborhood does not have a whole lot of people that seem to believe in the idea of quarantine or social distancing. So I see a lot of people walking around, no masks on, picnicking, you know, interacting with random people that they run into on a walk, and it's like, don't do that. If we get a second wave around here, my neighborhood is screwed. Like, I specifically do not go to grocery stores anymore because of how bad people are at controlling themselves. Because, yeah, we went to a grocery store, like, 3 weeks ago, and there were just a bunch of people, like, congregating, chatting, talking, doing whatever, and it's like, half of you don't have masks, and the other half that have masks most definitely are not using them correctly. Like, there's one guy with a mask around his mouth, but not his nose, and it's like, you fool. Let's see, who am I using for a delivery? My grocery store has a service. Oh, are we maxed out? Ha, we're maxed out. Alright, let's make some glue and figure out the rest. Let's make a bunch of glue. We're maxed out on fuel. Did I make iron? No, but I should probably make wood. Oh gosh, I should make a lot of wood. I'd like to use this service called Dumpling, but unfortunately they seem to only have a couple of shoppers in my immediate area, which sucks a little bit, because that seems like that would be a fun service. It's like a better version of Instacart, but unfortunately better version of Instacart has not caught on particularly well because of probably lack of marketing, and so there's only like a couple of people, and they're usually pretty booked up. Okay, so let's grab the wood. We've got plenty of glue. This is clearing out a little bit. Is there anything else I could... Yeah, let's remove that. Move it over here. Speaking of, how are you doing on water? Oh boy, we'll need more. There we go. Yeah, let's just go refill the water thing. Beef on the wall. Nice. It's hopefully a reminder to the Wocs in the area to let them know not to be dumb. Unfortunately, they're dumb as bricks, so... Yeah, they're just gonna die horribly. Anyway, let's drink some milk underwater. You'd think I'd lose, like, most of the milk for this, but whatever. It is what it is. Let's see. Okay, the fuel pods have respawned. But yeah, as a burgeoning vegetarian, mostly, I don't think I'm actually going to bother eating much of that meat, so it's just going to honestly be a wall decoration. See, will you replace Jim? Yeah, but I don't think I'm going to bother replacing my my livestock until after I've... Oof. Trying to do this at night sucks. Also, it doesn't look like a lot of these resources have respawned, so I guess it's not worth it for me to be out here. Balls. Let's see, what's next? Gonna mount the farmer bot heads on pikes outside your base? I mean, currently they're mounted outside of, on top of my crusher trap. I feel like of all the people who got early access to the furthest developed, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if Scrapman hasn't been playing this semi-relentlessly for a while, as well, since he got access. The main difference is I've been streaming the whole thing, and I don't know if Scrapman streams. I certainly have never seen it if he streams. Okay, first and foremost, let's grab a stack of these. Let's fix the palisade. I was really expecting the stone to last longer, but it really does not.